Very good morning to all of you. From today, we are going to start theoretical introduction of some multiple access techniques widely used in wireless communication and digital communication. We should remember that multiple access is the use of multiplexing techniques which provides communication service to multiple users over a single channel, and it results in a lot of saving in terms of resources. It allows for many users at one time by sharing a finite amount of spectrum. And in this particular course of study, we are going to talk about FDMA, which is frequency division multiple access, time division multiple access, space division multiple access, and PDMA. So all these four techniques will be studied theoretically, and conceptual nuances associated with them will be discussed. Before we begin, the background all of you should possess about before understanding going about these things is that we should understand the transmission modes, that we know what is a simplex transmission mode, what is a half duplex transmission mode, and what is a full duplex transmission mode, in the sense that in simplex mode there is transmission in one direction only. In half duplex mode there is one direction at a time, and in full duplex mode there is transmission in both direction anytime. So even if you have this only this much understanding about the transmission modes, we can start from here, begin from here, and go on understanding how we make sure that resources are allocated in an efficient manner using these multiple access techniques. Now, any multiple access techniques foresees that we are going to have many users at the same time, and we are required to share a finite amount of radio spectrum, which is a prized possession. It has to have high performance, and duplexing is generally required. And basically, it is done in frequency domain, and it is also done in time domain. So, what we basically do, that transmitter and receiver operate at different carrier frequencies. In mobile wireless networks, one block of spectrum is allocated for uplink, which carries data from mobile phones, say, to a base station, while another is allocated for downlink, which is from base station to the mobile phone. Now, let's talk about FDD technique first, the frequency division duplexing technique. And before we begin, you need to also understand what is duplexing and how it is different from multiple access. Now, the FDD technique is used in 2G and UMTS, WCDMA, LTT, LTE mode within wireless networks, and within the 4G LTE wireless network, FDD provides a migration path for the 3G service. Now, what is frequency division duplexing? We have two bands for frequency for every user. One is the forward band. This diagram, it is written forward channel. Another is reverse band. In the diagram, it is indicated with reverse channel. And there is a frequency separation between the two. We also require a duplexer for implementing this technique, and there is a frequency separation between these two bands, and this separation is constant, this is not variable. Now this is how we represent our typical duplexer. You can see here that duplexer in wireless communication is an electronic device that allows bidirectional communication in both directions over a single path. There is only a single path for communication. In radar and radio communication systems, what it does, this duplexer isolates the receiver from the transmitter, while it at the same time permits them to share a common antenna. Most radio repeater systems include a duplexer. So this is all about duplexing. In frequency domain, you have seen that the x-axis was frequency axis, and there was a separation between the forward and the reverse channel. Now, another version of it is in terms of time. There is time division duplexing also. Uses time for forward and reverse link. It means the x-axis is time, and multiple users share a single radio channel. There is a forward time slot and there is a reverse time slot. So wherever there is time division, either it is duplexing or multiple access, the division is in terms of time. Wherever there is a frequency division, duplexing or multiple access, there is a division in terms of frequency. The advantage associated with time division duplexing is that no duplexer is required since uh, at the same time no two users are going to use the channel for the simple reason. Now we come to multiple access techniques. There are frequency division multiple access, there is time division multiple access, there is CDMA or code division multiple access. That's also a very popular technique implemented worldwide. There is space division multiple access, and these techniques have been grouped as narrowband systems and wideband systems. Now there are large number of narrowband channels that we can talk about, and usually these channels require FDD for frequency division duplexing, and narrowband FDMA is also available. Narrowband time division multiple access is also available, and there is FDMA oblique FDD and FDMA oblique TDD, and TDMA with FDD and TDMA with TDD is also used in tandem. Now, we need to also ponder upon the actual meaning of multiple access. Multiple access, what does it mean actually? It is the use of multiplexing technique in order to provide communication service to multiple users over a single channel that I have already mentioned, and it should allow many users at the same at the one time by sharing a limited spectrum. So in that case, it's worthwhile to mention the requirement of narrowband channel, because the for narrowband channel the spectrum is also very limited. In radio communication, a narrowband channel is a channel in which the bandwidth of the message does not significantly exceed the channel's coherence bandwidth. And that's a very important point to understand intuitively, that when we are talking about a narrow band channel, bandwidth can take any numerical value. However, this bandwidth should not significantly exceed the channel's coherence bandwidth. And what is a channel's coherence bandwidth? It's a property of a channel, and it's a statistical property. It's a statistical measurement, and it's a measurement of the range of frequencies over which the channel can be considered flat. And which channel is considered flat? A channel is considered flat when the approximate maximum bandwidth or frequency interval over which two frequencies of a signal are likely to experience comparable or correlated amplitude fading. So many things need to be kept in mind while understanding the concept of coherence bandwidth, because we want to understand the concept of a narrowband channel. Okay, so we are going to analyze and discuss about the use of TDMA, FDMA, and all these multiple access technique in terms of narrowband channels and wideband channels. So first, we will discuss it with narrowband channels in mind. So for narrowband channels, for defining them, for quantifying them, we need to have an idea about channels coherence bandwidth, and that is associated with the flatness of the channel. What does flatness mean? You know, any signal is composed of different frequency components. And it is said here that the frequency interval over which two frequency components of a signal are likely to experience comparable or correlated amplitude fading. We are talking about fading in terms of amplitude only. And we are talking about two frequency components of a signal. A signal might have many frequency components, out of which any two frequency component, if you take, and if it goes through some kind of an amplitude fading, that fading has to be correlated or comparable. If there is a correlation in the amplitude fading observed in any two randomly selected frequencies of a particular signal, then we can say that the channel which introduces this amplitude fading is flat. Okay, and the range of frequency over which this phenomenon is observed is called coherence bandwidth of the channel. So it's a statistical measurement and nothing else, but it's very, very important. So those channels will satisfy this condition that the bandwidth of the message does not significantly exceed the channel's coherence bandwidth are called narrow band channels. Now, how does uh, representation look like in terms of logical separation in an FDMA or FDD? It can be used to this representation can be used to represent simultaneously frequency division duplexing also and frequency division multiple access also. So on your screen you can see the x-axis in terms of time and the y-axis in terms of frequency. So the users are divided in frequency because it is frequency division duplexing or multiple access. So users are divided in terms of frequency band. Each frequency band is further divided in terms of a forward channel and a reverse channel. So there is a division on y-axis only. Okay, there is no division on x-axis. That's why it does not divide the time domain, it divides the frequency domain. So that's it. That's a representation of how a forward and reverse channel looks like for a particular user 1, 2, 3 to n users are there for an FDMA technique. So this multiple access technique is frequency dependent. It's frequency domain multiple access. Now, how does uh, FDMA TDD looks like? Now, it's a frequency domain multiple access with time domain duplexing. So duplexing is time domain and the multiple access is frequency domain. When we talk about multiple access, it means we are talking about dividing the user. One frequency band reserved for one user. That's why users are separated vertically in terms of y-axis, which is the frequency axis. So there is user 1 with forward channel and reverse channel, but the forward channel and reverse channel themselves are divided in terms of time. You can see this vertical division in terms of t here, and that makes it an FDMA with TDD. It is a frequency domain multiple access technique. However, it is done in tandem with time division duplexing because the forward and reverse channel separation has been done in time domain. Okay, you can see the x-axis has been divided into forward channel and reverse channel for user 1. Same case must be there for user 2 and same case must be there for user n. So this is logical separation diagram for FDMA oblique TDD. It means FDMA implemented with time division duplexing. Now the duplexing is to isolate the transmitter and receiver, and multiple access is to enable more and more users in one frequency band. So we have talked about frequency division multiple access with frequency division duplexing and with time division duplexing both up to this point. Now we come to another permutation combination of these techniques. We will now talk about time division multiple access with frequency division duplexing. Now the separation between transmitter and receiver path is done using frequency domain and division duplexing. However, the users are accommodated in time domain. So user 1 should be separated from user 2 should be separated from user 3, and all these users should be separated respectively from each other in time domain, which is the x-axis. So therefore, you see a vertical separation. User 1, the band closes, this is a time band. User 2, band closes, this is another time band. So this is time division multiple access. Okay, but what kind of duplexing has been used? What kind of isolation technique has been used for the channel? This is in terms of frequency domain. You see a horizontal cut there here in your diagram, which is the division in y-axis, which is the frequency axis. So there is forward channel and reverse channel bifurcation in terms of frequency. That's because it is frequency division duplexing in tandem with time division multiple access. Okay, so this is another permutation combination, and this is the last combination for all these time division multiple access with time division duplexing. So everything is divided in terms of time. User 1 is separate from user 2, is separate from user 3, is separate from user n in terms of time. So all partitions, all bifurcations you can see here is in terms of x-axis. So forward channel and reverse channel are separated in time. User 1 is separated from another user in time, and there is no role of frequency. This is the logical separation example of time division multiple access implemented with time division duplexing. So we will continue with these explanations in the next lecture also.